It's a message to all my beautiful black people. I wasn't gonna say nothing, but I'm gonna say something. If you don't have $100,000, $50,000 put up, if you're not financially stable or financially comfortable, stop buying your kids every pair of fucking Jordans that come out. All you doing is setting them up for failure. You making them think you balling when y'all ain't balling. In all reality, you in your room stressing about how you gonna pay your rent, but you think it's important that your child go to school with some Jordans on because they cost 150, so people could look at them and then judge the parents and say, that parent must have some money. I must be doing good. That's bullshit. Let's impress people by how smart your child is, what he got to offer mentally, how he present himself, what type of education he got. Jordan don't give a fuck about us. Let's stop spending our money on that nigga shit unless we bump.
YouTube, what's going on? Trey back again, hit you with a video. Now this video right here comes straight out of Port City, and big shout out to everybody in Port City. You know who you are. But we have rapper Hurricane Chris telling it pretty much how it is, and I was pretty much glad to hear this young man give his opinion, some advice to women and also men, parents, about spoiling their children, buying them everything they want, in particularly Jordans, which it could be anything these days, but Jordan in particular, because for some reason, if you got a pair of Jordans, it's been like this from the jump, from the beginning. If you got a pair of Jordans in the hood when you was coming up, and some still not, grown-ass men flocking, cry and go Google-eyed over people wearing Jordans. I don't know what the hell it is. Is it the jump man? Is it the patent leather? Is it the design of the shoe or whatnot? I really don't know. But I was very glad to hear this rapper who rap about so many different things, and you all might know him from the song that came out some years ago called Hey Baby. It goes just like that, because I mean it took on like wildfire. But anyway, so he's a pretty much known guy, and to hear a rapper, especially one of these rappers that talk about a lot of things that goes on in the hoods, far as violence, police brutality, drugs, and just trying to come up and survive. I was very inspired to hear Hurricane Chris tell parents about spoiling their children, stop buying them every pair of Jordans they want. And this goes back to a lot of things about the stuff I preach about, but not really preach about, the stuff I talk about on my channel, where it's really all about balance. Don't give your child too much, because it's just like giving them too much candy. If you give them too much, guess what end up happening? They end up getting cavities. They end up getting sore tooths and everything else, which is just a metaphor for them doing bad in school. Just a metaphor for them not being appreciative of how hard you work for these shoes. And just imagine you have families, you have couples working 2 jobs, some of them working 3 jobs, working their ass off just to buy their kids a funky ass pair of Jordans, which the price done went up tremendously. Because I remember when I was young, even though I'm not that old, I remember when I was young, you can go get a pair of Jordans $100 easily, $110, $120 at the most. Now it's like $200, $300, $400, some of them in the thousands, which don't make no damn sense because they'll stay there. So, like I said, to hear this young man talk about, basically the proper way of rewarding your child, it's not in overabundance, but in love, and letting them know, look, I will reward you. There are rewards for you doing good in school, but the main reward comes in the long run where you grow up to be something. True will pass you little things along the way, like shoes, video games, or whatnot, to keep you entertained and also to keep you happy. But you don't never want to give your child too much, because what ends up happening is that you end up spoiling that child. And I'm not saying don't go buy your kid nothing, and I'm not saying if you don't got it, like they say, if you got it, flaunt it. That's on you. But still, though, even if you do got it, you still got to have boundaries, because have we not learned the lessons from people that have a lot of money, like rich people? Look how their children grow up. Some of them grow up more worse than the kids in the ghetto in the hood, which is true, because those kids in the ghetto in the hood would be more appreciative of the things that they have by them coming up with so less. So if you one of the parents, and I know I get it, I understand how parents like, well, I want my child to have what I never had. I understand that, because I feel the same way, but at the same time, you also want them to have one thing more than them Jordans. It should be discipline, self-respect, morality, some integrity. Jordans ain't gonna bring them that. Only thing that's gonna make them feel good for a moment while they have that stuff on. But what happens when they take them shoes off, when they take the jump man off? Then what? Now you left with a hollow shell of a child or even a human being. And it's sad that you have grown-ass men who get excited over a pair of shoes. And don't get me wrong, I love shoes, I collect shoes. But never will I get excited about. Really, I get excited over shoes like casual shoes or a certain kind of shoes that barely even come out anymore. But not over no pair of J's, because like they make them so regularly now, it's not even exclusive no more. But to you parents out there working all these jobs and Christmas coming around, and your children say, I want these J's right here, mama, or the new J's that's out in the mall, what's the Jordan 12s or 13, maybe you can let me know in the comment section. And it got a really pretty color, but when you look at that price tag, you know, if you're not a person who got, and to some people, that's a whole week's paycheck, a pair of $220 shoes, you know, and if your child right there begging you for these shoes, you need to think about your bills, because a lot of you all go get loans, a lot of you all go borrow money from people, don't even pay the people back, and some of you do. But the point is, stop stressing yourself out over a damn pair of shoes that your son can go out there, number one, mess them up, number two, get them stolen, or number three, just throw them in the closet with the rest of his damn shoes. So what you should do, that I advise, it give your child like a reward system. First of all, reward yourself, because if you're not happy, you can't make nobody else happy. And it's sad that we have parents like this, which that is good for parents if you want to sit up here and reward your child for doing little things, you know. But at the same time, don't neglect yourself. Don't neglect your needs. Don't sit up in here and go buy a pair of Jordans or a pair of expensive ass shoes and you ain't even paid your car note. You ain't even paid your rent yet. And that's stupid. And that's why people round up in the shape they is, because, you know, they so materialistic instead of realizing that the value is not in the shoe. It's what you put inside that child. And that's up to the parent. Depends on who you are, how you was raised, what's your mental capability, if you could translate all that into that child. But at the same time, if you spoil that child is not going to respect you. The child is going to just love what you have done for it, but you really not taught that child anything but to go out there and be like gluttony, really. You know, you already got 30 pair of shoes, you want to go buy 30 more. And like I said, if you got $1 million, you got money all out the ass and you balling like that, fine. But still, you know, no matter if you balling or not, guess what ended up happening? That money comes to a stop one day, then what? So all that money you wasted is just having a good time. It's going to be for nothing. And the kids need to understand that, you know, you work hard for your money. You know, like that old song used to come on that my mom used to do, I work hard for my money. You work hard for your money and you want some respect and you want the best for your child. But at the same time, you would not sit up here and allow your child to put on some kind of clothing, shoes, or, you know, jackets, whatever he make, and make himself feel better than everybody else. Because I used to see that a lot when I was coming up. You know, I ain't always had Jordans, you know, even though I could have got them every now and then, but I ain't always had them. But certain kids always had them. They used to come around us just shining. You know, we be standing over there with the SJ900s, the ponies, and everything else, looking hella stupid. You know, the LA gears on and all that. For you, some of you people, you might remember that, the British Knights, the troops. Somebody bust out with a pair of J's, they just shut down shop. You know, we just run off the playground crying and stuff, because we like, how in the hell, you know, you got the new Jordans out and we still got these damn BKs on, these British Knights. But anyway, so you don't understand what goes on unless you was around those certain crowds. The kids go to school and make another kid feel bad. Yeah, they wear uniforms, but guess what? They still wearing any kind of shoes they want. So it's still the same. So parents, I advise you to do, stop giving your kids everything they want. Encourage them to be humble with the least. And that's going to be the hardest thing. It was the hardest thing when I was young for me to do, when my people tried to sit up here and buy me stuff, but I didn't want that. No, I want the expensive stuff. And like they say, when you get old and you get a job, then you can go buy the expensive stuff. And you're going to see how easy it is or how hard it is to get it, you know. And I didn't think about that. I'm like, well, you being mean to me. And that's fine if your child want to think that. But at the same time, you need to teach them to be humble. All things comes in due times. And teach them also to not let the material things place a value on them or who they are. And that's what you have with a lot of people. That's why a lot of people dress up in these different designer purses, whether it's women, these designer bags, these shoes and everything else, because a lot of these people need that to make them feel like they're important. A lot of them don't feel like they ain't shit anyway. So what they'll do, they'll go buy the red bottoms, they'll go buy the Coaches, the Doonis, the Louis, the Jordans, the Gators and stuff, just to cover up an empty shell of a person. And you don't want to be like that. You know, I'd rather have the least material stuff and have more integrity and self-love for myself than have everything, than not give a damn about myself and just let myself be any kind of way and do anything. But to each their own. But I get what Chris saying, and that's very good for him saying that also, because you parents, and Christmas right around the corner, just like Black Friday, you know, just yesterday, you probably had people worked all week long for the last month or two trying to save up for that day, and now they're finna turn around and do it again. And guess what? And it's gonna keep repeating itself, and you wondering why You know, years go by, you ain't went and got that new car you want. I'm talking to the parents now. You wonder why years go by, you ain't went and put a new roof over your house or a new floor for your house. You know, the wood's creaking on it every time you walk by because you putting your money in all the wrong places. But I'm not saying that you shouldn't do anything for your child. I'm saying all things in due time. That's what you need to understand. And that's what, not saying that the women don't do it before it's me. That's how my daddy showed me, and that's how my granddaddy showed me. You know, as a man, all things are done in due time. It's levels, it's steps to this. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot to reach the top of that pyramid, and you're not going to reach the top of the pyramid by sitting up here spending money all the time. You got to sit back and think, okay, well, I need to make this move right here. Okay, well, I'll give you this at this such a time, but stop rewarding your child every time they feel the need that they should be rewarded, because nobody knows your financial situation better than you do. So if you got it, just like he said, hey, go ahead. But there's a lot of people struggling. There's a lot of people in the inner city, you know, that don't have it like that. And the parents, you would want your child to have what you never had. You want your child to feel good, because it'll make you feel real bad if you cannot give your child something that they really want. But at the same time, ask yourself this before you stress yourself out. Do my child need that? Do my baby really need them shoes? You know, imagine the toll that's going to put on me. But I'm not saying don't reward them. I'm just saying give them things in due time. But most of the things you should do is encourage them to be humble. Humble yourself, regardless, because it don't matter if you go buy them 10 pair of Jordan, 30 pair. Guess what? If they're not humble, they ain't going to give a damn. They're going to be ungrateful. So think about that. Great job, Hurricane Chris, saying it right there. And next time I'm in Polk City, you need to hook up, do a video and stuff so I can get his opinion one-on-one, and hopefully can make that happen soon. But reached out to some people. But anyway, that was very inspiring what he said. And I want you all to think about that today. If you stressing out how you can't provide for your kids, especially during Christmas, Black Friday and stuff, and then you're going to have another holiday, you're going to have another birthday, you're going to have another this. It never repeats itself. And guess what? You're going to run yourself crazy trying to live in this materialistic world when it's not even about that right there, because a lot of people have so much on the outside but have so little on the inside. Now, I'm done right there because I'm not going to start preaching, but y'all think about that today. If you like the video, push that like button. If you like, subscribe. Till next time, y'all stay blessed. And hey, stop letting them damn kids stress you out. Tell them you're going to get them damn shoes when you get ready to get them. I'm out.